Hi, it's Lori from Coast to Coast Craft Girls coming to you from the West Coast. Today, I'm continuing on my theme of making decorations for my daughter's baby shower, as I told you in the last video. And this is the next one that I'm making. It's like a hot air balloon. It's a lamp. There's actually fairy lights inside of here, LED fairy lights. And then it hangs and it's got a little basket. This is hanging. It's not, so it's just sort of wiggles in the breeze. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. And it's just an adorable little hanging basket light that I'm going to use. And the teddy bear can come out, but it's actually not that difficult to make. It's fairly time consuming, but it's not hard. And I'm going to show you how to make it. So let me hang this up and I'll be right back. Okay, so to make that, you need a couple of things. And I bought these, for the basket on the bottom, I bought these off of Amazon. These are little 6.5 inch, they're Flower Girl baskets. And they came in a 2-pack like this with the little pearled handle and the ribbons. And the ribbons have seen better days and I don't care for them, so I'm gonna get rid of those. And I was gonna take the handle off, and then it's on a wire, and when I noticed that when I folded it down, it actually looked pretty as a decoration for my basket, so I left it on there. Then the other thing you need is the balloon part, and this is a Chinese lantern. It's literally comes like this. I got these off Amazon in a package of like 12 of them, and I think they're made out of bamboo and rice paper, and they just expand out. This one is a 12 inch, and it comes with these little metal things, and just slide the metal deal down. It comes with instructions on how to do this, but it's easy. You just slide the metal deal down in there, and then you pull it up, and it's got like little hoops on the top. So you just stretch it until those hoops fit in like that, and they look like that. And it's got a hook on the top, you can see that, and then the bottom is just kind of flat, and it just looks like that. And it's just a paper lantern. I mean, it's not super sturdy, so you have to be careful when you're working with it. And then to make the hot air balloon, I used what is it? It's macrame cord. It's 4 millimeters in size, and it's macrame cord. I got this at Michael's. You can get it on Amazon or just about anywhere. And for the ones that hang down that are going to connect to the basket, I cut 2 pieces that are 64 inches in length. So 2 of those, and you're going to find the middle of it. Okay, so there's the center, and you're going to put it right at the center of the top and just kind of hold on to it. And then you're going to use your hot glue, and you're going to glue this cord. Just put a dab of glue on the cord on the balloon, and then glue that cord right there and about halfway down right there. You don't have to glue the whole way, just 2 spots there and then 2 spots on the other side, and you just want to make it complete, straight across. And then once you get that one done, you do the same thing with the second piece, 90 degrees. So when it's done, and I'll glue these on and then show you, but when you've got both of them glued, it's going to look like that, where there's a 90-degree cross at the top. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue these, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so I've got those 2 strips glued on. So they're glued here and right here, about halfway down on each side. Then you need 2 strips of that same macrame cord that's about 23 inches, and you're going to glue it essentially the same across the top, but then it's going to glue halfway down and then stop, and then you're going to trim off whatever you didn't use, because you just want it to go to the halfway point. Does that make sense? So it's going to come down here, and this is where my halfway point is glued. So I'm going to take this down, and I'm going to glue it right in the middle of those 2, and I'm going to glue it at that halfway point, and then I'm going to trim off the extra. I cut it a little bit long just to make sure that I had enough. And you're going to do that there, and then you're going to take the second one, whatever I did with it, and put it on in between the other two, the same thing. So you're going to end up with the 4 that are long, and then one in between each of those 4 that are short that just stops at the halfway point. So let me glue this on, and then we'll go to the next step. And I'm putting a little bit of extra glue on that end that I cut just to keep it from fraying. Okay, so let me find, what do I do with another piece? There it is. So it's going to come down in between these two. And don't worry too much if that looks frayed, because I'm going to cover it with ribbons anyway, but I just put glue on it to keep it from fraying anymore. And glue it at the top, right there. Spin it around. Same thing on the other side. So we're going to glue at the top. Partway down. Then I'm going to trim off that extra. A little glue on that just to keep it from unraveling. Okay, and that's the basis of it. Now, I liked to do like little loops in between, because I think just for decoration, I thought that looked nice. Okay, so for decoration, I liked the looks where you kind of put little loops like that or between each of these. You don't have to do this part, but I thought it looked nice. So what I did is I took some extra of this, and I'm going to glue one end, and then I'm going to loop it down and then glue it at each of the little ropes. So we'll start, get some extra up here. The hardest part is just the hanging on to everything. So I'm going to put a big blob of glue on there, put this end in there. And again, don't worry about it, because I'm going to cover how it looks, because I'm going to cover that up with a bow, which is why my bows are nice and big. So I'm just going to loop it down about 2 of these little rungs, and then I'm going to glue it right onto that next piece. So take your hot glue, put a blob of glue on there, dip this down, and just hold it long enough for it to grab. And then you rotate and do the same thing all the way around. And once you got all the way around, just trim that extra macrame cord off. And then again, I'm going to put some extra glue on that just to kind of hold it and to keep it from unwinding. Okay. And now it looks like that. Oops. Get it in front of the camera. all the way around. Okay? Or maybe that's a better view. So it looks like that all the way around with your 4 strings hanging down. Now I'm going to set that aside while I make some bows. And you need a bow for each spot, right, like this. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's 8 of them. Yes. So I need 8 bows. So I'm going to set that aside while I make my 8 bows. Now I bought this ribbon. It's 1 inch wide ribbon, and it's a pink gingham ribbon. And I bought this on Amazon as well. And to make my bows, I have this little bow maker that my husband made for me. And it's just a little piece of wood with holes drilled in it and 2 little nails, or I don't know what those are. But adjust. And to make, I did double loop ribbons. So to make them, you just wrap it around the post. I don't know if you've ever used a little bow maker like this before, but you wrap it around the post twice. So see, there's 2 loops around the post, and then leave a little bit of extra. Cut it off. And then let's see if I can do it this way. So this over that one, underneath, and then under those 2, under those, the pieces that are on here, okay, over the top, and then you tie it just like if you were starting to tie your shoes. So just 1 time through. Okay. Let me get it where I can see it, and then I'll be able to make sure I did it right. Tie it tight, and then slide it off, and it makes a perfect little bow. And you can just pull the loops apart, and you got a beautiful little bow. Now I like to do the bottoms so that they have like the little, you know, arrow, or I don't know what you call that. And so put them together, fold it in half. So you want to fold them in half like this. So take your ribbon, you fold it in half like so, and then put your hands to hold it, and then just cut at an angle wherever you want the ends of your bow, and that gives you the nice little edge. And then do the same thing on the other side at about the same length. And that gives you a pretty little bow. And I need 8 of these, so I'm going to make 8, and I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, I've got all my little bows tied. I actually made 12 of them because I need 4 for the basket as well. So I'm going to bring this back in, and I'm going to basically glue a ribbon onto each of these intersections, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, places where these 2 things come together. And basically, 1, it's for decoration, and 2, it's to hide like that giant mess. Just put a big bow. It's like any other kind of crafting. Whenever you make a mess, you just make a mistake, you put a bow or a butterfly or something over the top of it. That's what I'm going to do on this. And because I think it looks really pretty. Okay, so now I've got my ropes, and I've got my ribbons on each of them. Just like that. I'm going to set that aside, and we're going to work on the basket. Okay, so I've got my basket, and I already took those, untied the ribbons that were on it. And what I'm going to do is, so I've got, these are just the ends of the ribbon that I cut off when I did the little tails. And I'm going to take 4 of these. They're just little strips of ribbon or whatever. And I'm going to feed them through the top of the basket. So like that. And fold it over and glue it down to the inside right here. And that's where my rope's going to tie onto. Okay. Now you don't have to do this. You could actually glue your rope in, but I decided to do it this way in case I ever want to take that out and put floral foam in it with, you know, to stand up instead of hang. Then this way you can just untie those ropes or snip these and the ropes will just come right off, and you can put a piece of floral foam in there with some dowels to hold it up. And so I've just basically hot glued 4 of these on just like that. So you can see there's just a little loop of fabric. Your rope's going to go right through there. And you want sort of one here, one here. You don't want them on, you know, because you want them kind of 2 on each side, not right together, but just, you know, more like here, here, and here, as opposed to here, you know, as opposed to, you could do them equally spaced, I guess, but I thought it looked, because I was going to put an animal in there, I didn't want the little cord coming right through his face, so I did them more 2 to one side and 1 to the other, and, you know, 2 on each side, like this far apart, as opposed to, you know, here and there. So that's just how I did it, but you can do it however you want. But I thought it looked nice that way, because then I don't have the, I have kind of a front where I can put the little stuffed animal facing, and it's not going to be having the cord come right down in front of him. So put 2 on each side. Now I'm just going to bend that handle down in front of 2 of the loops, and see how when it's bent down it just kind of looks like a pearl decoration on the front of that basket, which I actually thought looked kind of cute, so I'm going to leave it like that. What we're going to do, so we're going to decide how much distance we want between the balloon and the basket on the bottom. Feed the ropes through. Start with 1. Feed 1 rope through. Feed that rope through the little loop here. And then just kind of hold it up and decide about how much room you want. And just do 1 at a time. So once you decide, kind of hold on to that one, set the top down, and then tie off that piece. And I just tied it in a knot and then tucked the extra down into, so I just tied it in a knot just like that, and then I'm going to tuck the extra down into the basket. And it doesn't look beautiful, but I'm going to glue a bow right on there anyway. And like I said, I wanted it tied so that if I ever decide I want to take this off and put, you know, put dowels in so that it can stand up instead of hang, I did it like that. So I'm just going to put all 4 of them through. They're not tied. Only the one is tied. I'm going to feed the other 3 of them through and just kind of pull them in so that they're ready to tie when I decide where I want them. Then hold the balloon up so that the one that you tied is taut and they're over the center, and then take the one on the opposite side and figure out like how tight would it have to be to make it level. Okay, so that looks pretty good. And because they're just tied, you can adjust them. That's the other reason I wanted to tie it instead of gluing it. And honestly, you probably don't even need to tie a knot. Now I'm just going to tie it once. It should be fine. I'm going to tie it once, and then I can go back when I'm sure that it's all right. I'll go back and tie it again. And you just do the same thing on all of them. Just kind of hold it up. Yeah, see, those are going to have to come up. See, that's not, see that how that's crooked, and this front needs to come up. So I'm going to shorten up these two in the front, which is the reason you don't tie the knots. And it's just kind of a trial and error. Okay, that looks pretty good. So once you get them where you want them, then go ahead and tie the second knot. Now that gives you your hanging basket. And now I'm just going to glue, I've got 4 more ribbons, and I'm going to glue one on each of these ribbons here. So right where these attach to the basket, I'm just going to put a ribbon on. And this one, the pearls are in the way, so I'm just going to kind of slide that tie up and put it over the top of the pearls. And you're done. And then you can just put your little stuffed animal in there. I've got a little elephant that's going to go in this one. Oh, let me switch cameras. And we're all done. And that's what it looks like. I have fairy lights that you know, that are meant to go for Christmas or something, and you just put them right in through the top and put the control thing right on top. But that's it. You're all done. Isn't that fun? Thanks for watching.